There's just so much more out there people need to know. So this show is specifically designed for seniors. If this is the first time you're listening, it's specifically designed for seniors, but it's designed possibly for your parents. So really pay attention, because we talk about the misconceptions, we talk about the lack of information about the reverse mortgage. There's so much people don't know. What I'm really going to hit on today is 3 different topics. One is about interest rates, because many people just think, okay, I'm in a reverse mortgage. I was told I'm not making a payment, but then again, I was never told I could make a payment. And why is the interest rate so important to my reverse, and what can I do to modify that interest rate and make it work the best for my reverse and for whoever I want to leave the home to? We're also going to talk about closing costs. What strays a lot of people away from doing the reverse mortgage are the closing costs. They are larger than a regular refinance or a regular purchase. And that is because of the FHA mortgage insurance that we will talk about. And then we'll also talk about actually how you qualify for the reverse mortgage, the percentage, how much equity will the contract between the federal government and the bank and you, the homeowner, how much of that equity will they let you utilize that you could either pay back at your control or not make a payment, and how that calculation actually works. So we're going to get and run it way till the, and also remember, definitely pay attention to my Facebook page, the Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. So like that page, you're going to get a lot of updates on videos. You'll never get harassment from me. You'll never get a phone call. You'll never get an email from me saying, hey, have you thought about the reverse? That page, the Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man, like this show, is strictly an informational page. There's going to be tons of videos uploaded in this coming year. They're going to just focus on centered areas, like qualifying, like closing costs, like making payments, like refinancing, all little different segments, which will help give you a better understanding about how it works. And then definitely pay attention on the airways with our sister stations here at Radio 1 for our Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man Church Tour, where we're going to be hitting many different churches throughout the year and doing free seminars. This is free information with the Christian perspective. It's somebody coming out who's going to be doing some fellowshipping, praising the Lord with you. So I'm going to be feeding the soul. I'm going to be feeding your stomach. We're going to cater it. And I'm also going to be feeding your mind with the truths and the information you need to know about the reverse for either yourself, your loved ones, or possibly in your future if you're getting closer to those retirement years. So interest rates. Interest rates are really important when it comes to the reverse mortgage. We all heard that the Fed was going to raise interest rates. Okay, so if you've heard that, you don't understand what that means so much. And before I actually got into the mortgage world, I didn't know what that really meant. It just always didn't sound good. They were raising rates. But in the reverse mortgage industry, that's how this word reverse really comes along for me. The reverse mortgage is truly called a home equity conversion mortgage. You're converting equity into your home into a new mortgage that you're not going to be making monthly payments on. Okay? But it came out with the stigma of reverse because people thought I'm reversing my home, I'm not making a payment, but they were also never told, no, you could make a payment, but you just control that payment in the amount you want. When it comes to the interest rates, though, what you need to understand is as that interest rate rises, as far as when the Fed announces to the regular mortgage industry, hey, we're going to be raising interest rates, okay, and to the industry as a whole, the world as a whole, in America, we're going to be raising interest rates. What that does in the reverse community is a opposite effect. It lowers the interest rate that you would be starting at in the reverse mortgage. So it becomes an ample opportunity that you really need to hit on if you want to refinance your reverse mortgage, or if you're looking to do a reverse mortgage for the first time, and whether you decide to make payments or not make payments, you want to start out at the lowest interest rate possible. So interest rates in the reverse industry have dropped they have dropped a full percentage point. That's huge. So what you need to understand is if you already have a reverse mortgage, and maybe you're one of those people that said, I don't want to take out any more equity. I've never refinanced my reverse because I don't want my balance to keep on going up. You need to understand that if you don't refinance your reverse to at least cut that interest that's accruing on that balance every single month, which you can definitely do, you're going to be doing the opposite, the negative what your intentions are for not refinancing. So if you're telling me I don't want to refinance because I don't want my balance to go up, I'm going to tell you I understand. And I don't want your balance to go up one dime either. Now, I can't speak for every other loan officer out there because they want your balance to go up, because if your balance goes up, they get paid more on that balance that does rise. I don't want your balance to go up. So what I'm basically saying is if you have a reverse mortgage right now and you have one of your statements out there and you see what that current outstanding balance is, I'm telling you right now, I want it to stay at what that balance is. But when you then start to look at your statement in detail and look at the interest that's gone on that statement over the last month even. I saw a wonderful lady, and it was last week, just a blessing of a lady, beautiful home, and we were talking about, her balance going up. And her balance was going up by $700 a month. So if your balance is going up, and I want you to look at the loan activity, you need to look at the finance charge, you need to look at the FHA mortgage insurance, the MIP, and also if you got a reverse from like 2003 or 1995, I'm sorry, to 2009, with some people 2010, you should have what's called on their monthly servicing fee, which is a junk fee that they don't no longer have, but you got to refinance to get out of that junk fee. But anyways, look at those three figures together, that total activity throughout the month. If that's $1,200, there's a way that you can cut that interest rate pretty much in half. That's going to cut the growth of that balance. So if you're one of those people, again, that have said, I don't want to refinance, I don't want my balance to go up. Remember, I don't want it to go up either. But by you not doing anything, you're guaranteeing that the interest growth on there is going to compound and keep on going up. What you need to know is that you have the ability without incurring any more costs whatsoever, without the balance going up one dime, by cutting that interest rate. You have that ability to do so. It's a simple refinance of your reverse mortgage, just like on a regular mortgage. Why would you want to refinance it? If you want to cut that interest rate, which lowers your monthly payment. In a reverse mortgage, it's the exact same thing. If you cut the growth of that interest that's going on that balance every single month, then you're going to preserve more equity. You're basically going to put a stop sign right in front of that bank and cut off. It's kind of like a dam. Think about it, a dam that's overflowing with water. Remember the old Superman movie, and all of a sudden the dam goes, okay? Well, if you put like a tiny little pebble in there, it's not going to stop it. The water's going to still gush out. But if you put enough, whatever it is, cement on there to stop that flow, or they have those bars that decrease the water from going out. If you lower that bar halfway, then that water is not going to gush out at full speed. So basically, if you lower that interest rate on your reverse mortgage, that balance is not going to rise at full speed anymore. It's going to get dropped down. It's going to get cut in half or close to cut in half. And it's going to slow that growth dramatically. And that slowing of the growth is going to guarantee, it's going to preserve more equity in there for you in case you want to sell the home. Because remember, in a reverse, you can sell the home whenever you want. But it's also going to preserve more equity in the home for whoever you want to leave it to. So again, I'm going to throw it out to you. If you're one of those people that have said, hey, I don't want to refinance my reverse. I don't want any more money. I don't want my balance to go up. I want to leave something to my children. No, you don't. Because if you're not willing to cut that interest that's going on there, and you're willing to give the bank double what they deserve something because that's the way the contract was set up. But they don't want to let you know. The bank's not going to call you and say, hey, we can lower your interest rate by a full point. No bank does that. So in the sense, like if you're getting a call and somebody's representing themselves and saying, yeah, I work with Financial Freedom or I work with LiveWell and we can cut your interest rate. No, they might broker through LiveWell, but that's misrepresentation. But they can still go through your same lender, but they can cut your interest rate. But if you don't do it, then you're basically saying everything I told you was a lie. Everything I told you about why I didn't want to do the refinance because I didn't want my balance to go up because I want to leave my children something is a lie because you really don't want to do that. Because if you did, you would take every step, every measure possible to lower that growth, to slow that growth down, to put a seal on it, a cap on it, to where it's not going to go through the roof. That's going to guarantee your children more equity in the home. God forbid when the Lord calls you home. And if you're one of those people that says, hey, I don't want to leave it to anybody, my kids are doing fine, well, leave it to the church, leave it to your charity, leave it to whoever. Or you don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now. And if you got to sell that house because you got to go to assisted living or something, leave it to make sure that you're going to get out of there as much possible, which is going to guarantee you more equity from the sale of that home. To not do anything is a disservice to yourself, it's stubbornness, and it is an insult to what you had planned to do for your children. By cutting that interest rate, and it's really simple to do, it's a very simple process to do that. But again, remember, I can do that at zero closing costs. Everybody can do that at zero closing costs, especially if you're in the DMV. We can cut those interest rates, do it at zero closing costs, which means, which we're going to get into in the next segment, all those fees that were involved in the first time, from the origination fee, the finance charges, the FHA mortgage insurance, the title fees, all of those will not be on there. So that's very important that you do that, that if you cut those interest rates, that's going to preserve more equity. And if you can do it at zero cost, that's going to guarantee that balance is not going to go up by one dime, because I'm not here to give you more cash. I'm here to make the reverse as best as possible for you. 1-800-952-PRAY. 1-800-952-7729. Write that number down. Anthony Miles, your Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. We'll be right back. Don't change that dial for the second segment.
1450 WOL.
Good morning, this WOL traffic and weather update brought to you by Unbound. 295 southbound construction work is going to be after